any other set of law enforcement units in the country. Master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. We have to be in these streets. We have to shut it down. We're going to continue to use every single tool in our toolbox.
I was born and raised in San Pedro, California, which is home of the largest seaport in the country. Whether it's, obviously your aunts, uncles, your cousins, but your friends and your neighbors, that you treat people as if you want to be treated like a family member. Whether I'm in Watts, in Harbor City, Harbor Gateway, Wilmington, in San Pedro, I'm connecting with my residents the same way I was taught to connect at home. My family instilled in me the importance of working hard, the importance of giving back and doing good for others, and I attribute that to being an Italian American.
If you say yes to a solution, we will clean our streets and sidewalks. And look at our streets today. It's disgusting because of a lack of consequences. If you don't take down your tent, then you have to go through an AA program. And we're not done. Then you have to go to the drug treatment program. And we're not done. If you don't take down your tent, you're going to go to jail.
If you don't take down your tent, you're going to go to jail.
When there's a threat that your freedom will be taken away, some people are going to change their lives. I can tell you, and just talk to my amazing team who is on the ground every damn day, when they sort buckets of feces and urine.
Every damn day.
Feces and urine. We just want to clean our streets.
And I attribute that to being an Italian American.
Good morning, this is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused, and we are here in San Pedro. And San Pedro has got a very complicated history dealing with the unhoused community. In the background here, where you can see besides the lake and the water, this used to be a halfway house that dealt with unhoused community. Right now they're using this building, they're throwing out the unhoused who are in front of the building, but they're using it as a filming studio. One of the residents here in San Pedro, Andre, is going to talk to us a little bit about his experiences of being unhoused and what the challenges it is like to be out here in San Pedro. FYI, this is the district where Council Member Joe Busciano, who is a former police officer that loves the police so much that he has taken measures to target unhoused people in several different ways aggressively. So without further ado, this is Andre. Hello, Andre.
Hello, how you doing? Good morning, good day.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you become unhoused?
I've been here since like early 90s. I come from LA, outside LA. Came down here, and then I had an apartment, and I got evicted for religious reasons. And now I'm out here with my friends and stuff in the public, and we just try to do normal things that everybody else does. Because we all have like illnesses and things like that.
How long have you been out here on the streets?
Roughly probably like a year, and it's like a roller coaster. You have your good days and bad days, just like everybody else. And,
so today's weather, and I failed to mention, today's weather is close to 90. Close to 90 degrees today,
yes.
Upward. How do you guys cope with the heat out here when you're out here on the street? Because some places people can go into air conditions. What do you guys do? How do you cope?
We're blessed with these people that come around and drop off water and stuff like that to try to keep us cool, and that's a good thing, because we're all one people, everybody, people indoors and outdoors. We're all here, this is the land of the free and stuff like that. And I'm very blessed to have people like that around, And the people that live out here, there's reasons that we're out here, but we need to get indoors. I try to do my best to maintain the place right here, because I need to do things like that.
How hard it is to get back on your feet into indoors? Is it easy for you to do it?
Kind of. Everything is a waiting list. We have out here with the community and housing and stuff like that. There's indoor housing and stuff like that, but I haven't went there yet.
Okay, I don't know what's indoor housing. Is it a program?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, yeah. I don't really know the name of it, but it's for the homeless people, but you gotta put your name on a list, and they should have beds open.
Is it a shelter, or is it a hotel, a project hotel room key, or?
There's both. And I guess the one with the hotel is down the street over there. Beyond the building over here. And it's for people like over 65 years old,
Oh, okay.
like that.
Okay, like a senior home.
Yes. There used to be a motel, but they have it for older folks. And then on this corner over here to my right, the brick building, that's a homeless shelter.
Oh, really?
Yes. And,
are you for being in a hotel or shelters? Because some people prefer hotels than shelters. What's your perspective on that?
Well, yeah, I prefer a hotel better.
Why?
Because I have my privacy, plus the shower's right there. You don't have to share them. Because I have no problem sharing them either. But, it's more comfy, more like home.
Right.
But like I said, there's a waiting list for it, so I got to wait on that one.
What I see the city has always been pushing for you guys to go to shelters. And some of the unhoused, like myself included, have been reluctant to shelters because I've had a lot of things happen. I've had violence encounter there, the staff, or it feels like a prison. Like the one I was in, one of the shelters in the downtown area, they had this very militarized kind of way of living. So is this the same here in these shelters or no?
Yes, basically it's the same. And they got a curfew, and they all share one refrigerator. Well, you know, people are people.
Yeah.
I'm not here to label nobody. But it's a good thing, but I just think that they're doing that just to make themselves look good, you know? Because we're still out here in the street, and I'm concerned about the females out here, you know?
Why are you concerned about them? What's going on here?
Because first of all, when they have to use the facilities, they have to use the restroom, you know, try to respect everybody. I mean, they can go around a corner or a bush or something like that, which is it's not a good thing to do.
Right.
But there's nowhere for a female to go. You know, there's no outhouses out here. There's nothing to wash your hands. You know.
But COVID-19 is in its height. There's no sanitary. That's what I noticed too.
Yeah.
I don't see any portable bathrooms. There's no hand washing stations out here. This is weird. So what happens? Let's say, for example, what happens if someone in the unhoused community gets COVID-19? That means it could spread through the housed and housed community.
Exactly, because we do go to liquor stores.
Yeah.
We go to hamburger stands. We do all that stuff.
Right.
You know, and we're not trying to catch that either, sir. But I mean, this is what they give us. You know, and every Tuesday or early in the morning, they have us break down our stuff, our tents and everything, and we have to put them in a plastic bag, as in our clothing, our towels, our bedding, our eating stuff that we use, our utensils and everything. We have to put them in a trash bag. Our tent, all those things. It's like putting everything in a shopping cart, a little shopping cart. And whatever doesn't fit in there, they keep. Don't forget we have bicycles and stuff like that too for our transportation. So, and they're always taking from these people. And they got to start all over. And you got to remind them, they're homeless. How can they start over? How far do they got to start? They're homeless. They're at the bottom of the barrel, sir. You know? And I feel for them, you know?
What happens if, because I've been swept too and I lost my ID and my medication, things like that, does it out here, does the city reimburse you guys for those kind of things?
Yes, we have a, what's it called, it's down here on Pacific and 9th Street in San Pedro. It's, I forgot. Excuse me, what's the name of the, where I go get my mail at? I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Harbor Interfaith.
Oh, okay. So they help you get your stuff back when you lose it?
Well, they give you vouchers to get an ID and stuff like that. But going through this COVID-19, you got to make an appointment, and then you don't get it. You get it like 4 months from now.
You don't get it right away. You get it 4 months away.
Yeah. You know, they put us like on. If it was a car, they put us on the bumper. You know, with all due respect. And
what if you had, for example, I had a situation where they had secured me somewhere that I could possibly be. But the problem is I'm not from here. I'm from Chicago. And ever since 9/11, it's very difficult in Chicago to get your ID and things like that. Now added on COVID-19, there's nobody in these buildings for me to get my birth certificate in order for me to get my social security card. It's not like here in California you maybe can wangle or talk with somebody. But another city has their own rules and their own policies. And you can't, if you're out of state, it's just what it is. So, and like right now, like you're saying, for 4 months, what if you have, like, for example, someone comes and say, hey, Andre, we got housing for you. What we need is your ID, your social, and you don't have that. And you said, can you wait for 4 months? They said, no, it's today. What would happen to that?
Again, that was an opportunity, you know, it's gone, you know. And not just that, you gotta be reminded that they patrol here too. The LAPD patrols right here, and they come by all the time, and they always ask us if they talk to us, present our IDs to them.
You don't have to. That's against the law. You don't, unless you are wanted by the police. You don't have to give them your ID. But see, this is again why when people are saying defund the police, and you have the bootlickers are running to their defense and saying unhoused people, all of them are criminals. This is the kind of illegality that they do, and there's no consequences because Joe Busciano, he's the former police officer and a bootlicker himself to LAPD. They can do no wrong, and he's not holding them accountable. So, so what happens if, let's say, for example, I'm housed and I don't like unhoused people, and I start a fight or call the police on you? Do you get any of those kind of situations?
Yes, all the time. You know, we gotta be careful because we're right here on the curb and stuff.
Right.
If I may say it, a couple of weeks ago, a car pulled up right here to talk to somebody. You know, I didn't even know who it was.
Right.
And I was feeling something, and the next thing you know, the person backed up right by my tent and tried to turn this way, and it ran into the person that was visiting his car.
Oh my God.
I mean, they got out the car and they started mayhem and everything. So my whole point of this, what I'm saying is that I'm concerned about people going out here or a car chase or something, you know, and a car run into us.
Yeah.
You know, and I got the Albert ladies right here too.
Yeah.
You know? Me, I have.
And you said I noticed a couple of elderly people there too. They can't move fast enough in time. Too.
Yes. I'm on disability and stuff like that. I can go indoors, you know, but I don't because they need somebody here to watch over, you know, to be aware of all this nonsense.
And you're more mobile, even though you're disabled, you're more mobile to help the elderly out here in the community. Because again, let's be clear, the unhoused is a community. We do look after each other just like the housed people who create these business improvement districts and homeowners associations. We have our own homeowners association. We look after each other let's face it, from the homeowners that are basically not really sympathetic to the unhoused community. So we've established that the police come out here to target you guys, that you guys got put in a garbage bag. What if, like
every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday, he says. Do they come early in the morning or middle?
Yes.
What time?
Between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning.
How long do those sweeps last?
Supposedly they put signs up. They say it probably until 5 in the evening, and we gotta be gone, and stuff like that. So we're lugging our whole life, everything that we own. We're lugging it everywhere.
Did you know that there has been a ruling by the judge that they are not to take your bulky items and things like that, but they're still breaking the law? For example, the judge handed down recently because the city has been breaking the law, and they held the city in contempt from doing that. There's been documented footage of the city running around taking people's belongings, their needed essential things, and throwing them in the trash, even knowing that they have been ruled that they were not supposed to do that. Now, I want to ask you a question. Let's say, for example, if you had did that to a housed person, would you go to jail? Would you be facing legal ramifications, or would you get the same support like the police?
No, I'll probably go to jail. They'll do a sweep for warrants and stuff like that. And see, what happens is that they gave me a ticket one time. They said for smoking a cigarette right here, and they gave me.
Wait. This is outside. There's no. I mean, you can't smoke a cigarette out here.
You don't see the sign?
Where?
I don't. Way over there. You can't even. Way where it starts. The street starts.
No.
Facing that way. Oh, that's where the sign's at, sir.
Wow. What? Oh, that's just crazy.
Yeah. See, because when the ships come in, they need to clear the streets. So they give us these tickets, thinking, well, they're not going to pay for it, so it's going to turn into a warrant. So now they get the order to clean us off the streets. So now they go and see who has warrants. You know, it's a little petty one, nothing. You know. So we're off for 3 or 4 days. We're out of here. We're in jail. So when we come back, we have nothing left.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And see, this is the kind of stories that we need to have the mainstream public understand and be educated on. This is the reality, despite what the city and the mayor and them keep lying to you about. This is the reality for people that have different experiences, but they have a similarity in common. They do this everywhere.
Right. Yes. See what happened? They gave my friend a ticket just because he was standing next to a shopping cart.
Standing next to.
Yeah, they arrested him for that.
Why? Well, it's not against the law to stand next to a shopping cart.
Oh, in their book it is.
So you mean to tell me because you just happen to be, well, that don't even make any sense. It doesn't have to be your shopping cart. You could just be walking, waiting to the street cross and minding your business, and they just pull up and say you're under arrest or you're standing next to a shopping cart.
Yes, they arrested me. They said I stole somebody's cigarette. They gave me a year.
A year?
I did a year.
A year for a cigarette?
Yeah. They said I stole somebody's cigarette and I had 2 packs in my pocket.
Oh my, that.
Honest.
I can't believe it. A year for I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even. That's so crazy.
They're trying to make this look nice, you know, and they're gonna do anything to get us out of here, you know, but they're doing it all wrong. You know, they gotta habilitate people, not just throw them in a dungeon, arrest them. That's not going to help them out.
You're not going to arrest your way out of houselessness. You're not going to arrest your way out of people that have substance usage or mental health issues. It's just not going to happen. It just costs more money that we could have been using to build a sustainable community, but yet we keep giving more money to police officers to do the same illegal stuff. And then there's no kind of accountability among the city, the police, or anybody. We just basically give them free reign until it happens to us. So is there anything else would you like to the audience to know? Because I'm still reeling and stunned about the fact that you served a year for a cigarette. I mean, come on, that's just...
Yes, I went to Chino prison.
Chino prison?
Yes. I was amazed. No, other than that is that right here, this is in history, this is the second, back in the days, this is the second most violent street in America, Beacon Street, right here. You look that up in the...
Why is it so violent? You say violent?
The most second most violent in the United States of America.
Oh, why?
It's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh my goodness.
Back in the days.
Oh, or in the earlier times, not now, because it seems very quiet.
Why are they still treating us like that? I don't see no violence.
And most of the violence wasn't with the in-house community anyway. It's mostly with housed people. But again, people attach criminality with unhoused, houselessness, as the easy panacea to be able to justify these kind of crazy responses, like penalizing someone for a year for smoking a cigarette, arresting someone for standing near a shopping cart that's not even his. So that's just, it's just sad, and this is a statement on how we are blaming and shaming society.
Yeah, like my brother right here was saying, how this person rise up and have confidence to dust himself off and get a job when they're always going like this.
Yes.
Bringing them down. You can't do that. You're supposed to bring the brother up, not down.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a well put. We are a finger wagging society. We love to finger wag and we love to blame and shame. And this is a clear example. This is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused. I hope we learned something here in this episode, and I hope we again meet in the light of understanding. This is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused. We have just found out that one of the signs that says there's non-smoking is quite a distance away. Our guest today, Andre, stated that he was arrested and served a year in Chino prison for smoking a cigarette out here. So we're going to cover it visually, as well as talk about this sign, and how is someone to know that there's no smoking if there's no signs apparent here on the I guess this we call the long sidewalk, or this is not a promenade, but I guess it's a long hilly kind of area. So let's take our trek to this. As you can see, we are near the pier here, as you can see, and you don't see any signs. I don't see any signs that would say anyway. There is a sign that's close by that introduces the park. So you can see here the streets, you can see the bridge, as you can see, and this is, mind you, as you can do, we're going to take a shot of the sun here, how hot it is. This is very hot, and this is, remind you, last couple of weeks ago we had a very strong heat wave, and there was over 9 unhoused and counting that died from heat-related injuries and illnesses due to the heat wave and the brush fire aftermath. As you can see, this is San Pedro landmarks. It talks about the Vincent Thomas Bridge, the USS Iowa, the Municipal Ferry Building, the Ports of Call Village, and they show us some historical things dating back to 1906. which starts with the shoestring strip announced to the city of Los Angeles. So this is called the shoestring strip. The shoestring strip. In 1915, they enacted a harbor boulevard to outer harbor. And then from 1919 to 1940, San Pedro became a home to the U.S. Navy port or fleet. And it all the way goes up to 2012, where the USS Iowa was permanently docked at the port of Los Angeles. So as you can see, there's a lot of history here. Right across the street from this shoestring strip is the San Pedro United States Post Office. And here is a marker, if you will, and it's a memorial of the Maritime Industry Memorial. I don't know what this is about. This shelter is dedicated to the women of the Maritime Union Industries of Los Angeles Harbor. So also here is the history of the Los Angeles history of San Pedro Plaza Park, which started and was open to the public on July 1st in 1889. They also have the Carnegie Library, and they actually in 1966 the Carnegie Library was demolished, so it's not here anymore, but it used to be a spot here. I guess they show this is the landmark of it on this location. So here is where one of the signs is. San Pedro Plaza Park, no smoking, no skateboard, no skating, camping, graffiti, moon bouncer jumpers, no littering, no dogs, no alcohol, no bicycles, no amplified sound, no open flames, no shopping carts, umbrellas, sunshades, or canopies must be open on all sides. All of these items must be removed from park before park is closed. No trespassing during hours of closure. Park hours, sunrise to sunset. So as you can see, they have a very anti-unhoused sentiment here as well, due to knowing that people are suffering and needing a place to lodge, so which is why you see the unhoused on the sidewalks. We have over 60,000 and counting of the unhoused community, not counting people that are housed and secure that may be joining the ranks of the unhoused community. So as you can see, the length and distance that it takes for us to find that sign, and if you're just standing and just taking your ease and stopping to take a cigarette smoke out here in the open air, that he was not in the park, he was standing on the sidewalk, and they sentenced him to a year in Chino prison for smoking a cigarette. Now we talk about prison reform and incarceration and the pipeline to prison school, the prison pipeline. Here is a very clear point of it. Andre is an indigenous American. He has been heavily criminalized, of course, for his status, as well as from being who he is, as you can see very clearly. Many people of color are criminalized and punished due to the just the vagaries of white supremacy. To cover the lips, and I'm trying to be more sensitive to the deaf community too, because some like the subtitles and some just be able to want to read the lips, and we don't. And I didn't know this myself. Like, oh, you know what? That's right. We don't. They can't hear, so they need to be able to see what's going on or want to be part of the conversation.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2. I'm gonna pan towards you. Ready?
This is We The Unhoused, Theo Henderson. We are here right in a county shelter that supposedly has a sign here that says no trespassing, no loitering, forbidden by law up to $1,000 fine or 6 months in prison, or both California Penal Code sections. I don't know, it's 552 through 558, 1 to 602. So we have a little bit of the history here, and I'm going to talk to one of the newspaper journalists and creators to get his perspective on what's been going on here. So what's going on?
Hi, my name is Chris Venn, and I'm part of Services Not Sweeps. We have an organization in San Pedro called San Pedro Neighbors for Peace and Justice, which is we've been monitoring the comprehensive cleanup, which happens every week. So this is a county facility, and Theo wanted me to mention some of the history. It was opened just 3 months ago, and the building used to be a county health facility, and it had been vacant and unused for at least 5 years. And Janice Hahn, a member of the Board of Supervisors, and the Board of Supervisors saw this empty building, understood the crisis of housing, and it took them 3.5 months to open it up, a very, very short time. And I believe it houses 47 people, so it's an important resource for the community.
My understanding too is from Andre and some of the other individuals that it's very hostile here because of the staff are not necessarily sensitive to the needs of unhoused community. Do you have any perspective on that?
We've a number of residents of the unhoused residents of the community have talked about staying here, and just commented that they were unable to because of kind of uninformed actions of the staff, and it just made them very uncomfortable dealing with the lack of conflict resolution.
That's very well put, exactly. And for the ones that always ask why they don't want help, do you think that contributes to why people are reluctant to go to shelters?
Absolutely. There's a Bridge Home shelter on 1510 North Beacon, so about 10 blocks south of us and north of us. And individuals have commented that at this Bridge Home shelter in San Pedro, and I imagine at others as well, you have to be at the shelter at 7 p.m. every night. And that's individuals in the community have said it's almost like being in prison.
I have a personal question, if you don't mind. Let's say, for example, through unfortunate circumstances and that you would find yourself houseless. Would you be eager to go to these places?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Well, from our experience, Hillary and I and Stephanie, which we are here for the comprehensive cleanups, is that, I mean, there are problems, but this community is a very cohesive, supportive community where people look out for each other and kind of keep an eye on each other's tents and socialize and share stories and resources. So I hope I never have to experience the situation of being unhoused.
Thank you very much for your time. This is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused. We're just on an expose tour to see just what the reality is, despite what the City Hall has been painting the picture to well-heeled or moneyed people, or the ones that have a disdain for the unhoused. We need to show the truth of the reality of this. Again, it was just almost 90-something degrees, and there's not a bathroom in sight, and there's nowhere where I can wash my hands, or there's nowhere for me. If that's nowhere for me, imagine what it is like for the unhoused or the fallen. Perfect. It's good.
You know, my family instilled in me the importance of working hard, the importance of giving back and doing good for others, and I attribute that to being an Italian American.
Let's talk cruelty and evil. Now, I've walked over at least a mile to try to find a bathroom, and here is one. Here's firstjohn.com, 877 joint to go. Our customers go first. That's kind of ironic because the customers that they're talking about are the people that are doing the streets. But look at what's here for people that have to use the bathroom that are unhoused. Look what greets them. Where do they go? There are no hand washing stations, there are no porta potties, and this is an example of evil and cruelty that they disguise. And this is right under the tents here. People always ask or say that what they would do during the Civil Rights, Holocaust, or any atrocity during history. But the reality is you're doing exactly what you would have done in those time periods. That is nothing or being different or be afraid to act or make changes that would benefit all of humanity, not just a certain select amount of humanity. So here is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused. We're out here in San Pedro, and I want you to take a very good look at what you would have done during those turbulent times, because you're doing it now. Create some bathrooms and some porta potties and hand washing stations. No water, no soap, no paper. In a pandemic, we're still in a pandemic, and the CDC guidelines applies here, but for some reason, for people that are police officers and city council, the law doesn't apply to them. They are above us. They feel that they are above the law. Yet they're supposed to enforce the law, and apparently they don't. This is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused. We have a special treat here today. We have a musician and a resident unhoused neighbor here, and we're going to introduce before he plays. What's your name, sir?
Well, my artist name would be Philosophical Beast Houdini.
Very
my name
well.
is Phil, and they call me Houdini, and I be a beast.
How long have you been playing?
Most of my life, actually. I started off when I was real young. I did the piano for 3 years, and my piano teacher, she had a violin, and she told me not to touch the thing. Mm-hmm. So being a little kid, I had to. The first chance I got, I picked it up and I just started playing it. And I self-taught myself for about the first 3 to 4 months. And then after that, I started taking lessons and I did orchestra in school. And this is, well, my girl, my future wife, Jess.
Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you.
So you're going to give us something, and I would like to be surprised. So show us some of your talent.
Okay.
Without further ado, Philosophical Beast, Phil, take us away.
This is a piece, and it's called Born to the Streets. It's a piece I created.
Cool. Thank you very much.
What I'm getting myself into is violent dubstep rap, and I actually have a rap to that piece.
Can you, if you don't mind, after the interview, could you play that for us or do that for us?
Just do it right now?
Actually, I want to do the interview first, and then we can talk, show more of your talent. So, as you can say, we in The Unhoused, we highlight the stories of all of our brothers and sisters all around, from San Pedro, Hollywood, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, it doesn't matter. And you can understand that we just don't look out on the street and say, well, we're going to be out on the street. Life happens to us. And we also don't forget our humanity and who we are from this. So tell us your story, Phil. How did you become unhoused? Can you do me a favor? Hold on.
Basically, a little bit about my life. It was just like I was actually born to the streets. That's why I named that piece, "Born to the Streets." I was born in a car here out in Long Beach, and my mom and dad were on the streets when I was born. And basically, my mom and dad split when I was 2. My dad went to prison when I was 4. He was just trying to take care of his kids, though. That's what put him in prison. But and then basically, I went to my grandma's at 13. I went to my grandma's from 4 to 13, and then my grandma kicked me out at 13, and I've been off the streets ever since.
How did you survive at 13 years old on the streets? Let's talk about that, because I'm just curious. You know, it's tough for adults. How does a 13-year-old survive? What did you do at 13 to survive?
Basically, because of you take care of everything when you're a little kid, and because of the first 4 years of my life was the streets, it came sort of naturally. I got myself a tent, and went and found a place to sleep with a tent, and got myself blankets and stuff, and then I would go from there to basically, to be able to feed myself and shit like that.
Let me ask you a question. How did you go to school?
I put myself in school still.
Right.
Nobody knew at school that I was on the streets.
No, wow. That's impressive. No teachers or anything?
No. Well, I mean, I had teachers, yeah, of course, but none of the teachers, none of the students, none of them knew that I was on the streets the whole time. I went to 10th grade and I dropped out that much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So after you dropped out, how old were you when you dropped out?
How old were you?
No, you at 10th grade. Okay, they don't have to go back.
I can't remember.
Yeah, 15 to 16 maybe. Okay. So what was the first thing?
Just a little bit older than that because I got held back.
Oh, okay. So that's understandable because of the challenges.
I don't know how you get held back in preschool.
Oh well. So what is the challenges of being on the street that you see?
Oh yeah, challenges.
What did you notice that was pretty tough?
Mainly places to take showers.
Which brings up a question. I have to jump in because I've been trying to find a bathroom. Where in the hell do we find a bathroom? Because we don't have
to go downhill.
You gotta go downhill.
You go downhill. If you go through.
How many miles is that?
You know that little dirt park.
I'm not from here.
Okay, it's right by the port over there.
Oh, okay.
There's this little tiny what do you call it? A taco bait restaurant type of thing. Yeah, and they got a bathroom right there. But
I saw that, and I just wanted to point this out because a lot of people don't know, and I'm going to say this. One, particularly, due to COVID-19, unhoused residents are supposed to have bathrooms out here. That's been mandated.
They should bring porta potties.
Yes, that's what we were supposed to have. You're supposed to have them at at most of the majority of the spots. There are none.
They've got these little it's to wash your hands. And
they don't even work.
They don't work.
I just found that out. I mean, and they're supposed to do this. It's not like you're just going out of the kindness of
to make it look like they're doing it.
Yeah, and not only that, it's even worse. There's a porta potty down there, but it's locked for the construction people. And then two, here's another thing that they haven't told you. The city has been sued, and they're supposed to not, when they do sweeps, to take your bulky items. But this is the thing. They've been doing it anyway, and they were held in contempt. They're supposed to have signs that saying, in essence, mea culpa, or I'm sorry, we're not supposed to do that. We won't do that anymore. But they don't have it in here. And this I don't even see any of them.
No.
So that's messed up.
That is pretty messed up.
So they're taking people's things and they're not even knowing it.
At 13, basically, started off with basically illegal hustles.
Right.
To make my money and to take care of myself and stuff. At first.
Well, you were underage because you couldn't work.
At that time, I couldn't get a job.
Right.
At 13. And eventually, I found this, and this became my living, and that's when I stopped all of that. And it's been my goal, my dream for quite a few years, almost about 15 years now.
How much does a violin cost?
It depends. It all depends. If you get a really old one. If you have an antique that's over 100 years old violin, it's going to be worth some money. Like, or if you have a Sagittarius, it's going to be worth some.
Well, a reasonable.
Can't even say the word right now. What is it?
Stradivarius.
Stradivarius.
Yeah.
I said Sagittarius.
Stradivarius, right?
But anyway, that right there, that's going to be worth some money. But otherwise, you can find them on Wish, Let It Go, offer up for like $30-$60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something. That's an investment because I can see because the talent you have. I think you're making do. If you don't mind, I noticed you got some tape there.
Yes,
and the string, and I know a little bit of musical understanding that you got to have some very well tuned things. So
I wish that I had a bow because it would sound so much better, but it doesn't. But basically, I'm turning this right here into a mobile recording studio, and that's. For me, that's my next level of what I need to do to move on with my music life. Because again, what I'm going to be doing is violin dubstep rap, and there isn't a single artist out there that does violin dubstep rap solely. So I'd be the first. And basically, violin's my minion.
Yeah.
That'd be my minion.
Oh, that's cool. So, how do you guys meet? Because you guys a loyal communication here. Hold on. Give us a minute. There's like a heavy police presence. Are they going near the encampments?
No, they just drove away.
Oh, wow, they got the lights flashing.
No, that's down there.
Cause I was noticing, I'm like, I know they're not about to barber the unhoused. We can get that later.
Down here.
Yeah, well, okay.
I was gonna say they were gonna stop, and I was gonna walk over there.
Yeah. They see the camera. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not
Exactly.
Because the other guy, he was peeping out and looked, and Herman drove off.
Right.
So, let's talk about you guys. How did you guys meet?
I was actually on my way to the beach that morning, and I think she was about to go jog at the beach, and she was right up there at that corner over there. And I just said, hi, how you, what you doing?
So what was your thought when you met her?
Surprised at first, but then we just started talking, and then...
I basically asked if she wanted to kick it at the beach. I play my violin and stuff.
He did.
Good move. Show your talent and skills. Yes, I understand. I'm just taking notes.
I don't know.
It's too late for me to do a violin, but yeah.
I usually, when I was single, I kicked it with a lot of women I did. I kicked it with, a lot of women. She's the only one who showed me any different. Out of most of them.
Cool.
And I fell for her all of them straight away.
So how long have you been out here?
For a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
How did you become out here? Because you guys, as you can say, have made it a very a way to survive, which is, and you guys have each other, which is great, because it's very difficult out here. And being single, I can attest. So, how long? How did you get out here before you met him?
Just a couple of situations happened. Then COVID happened. And then
yeah.
I kind of just landed. I lost my work, and then
What did you do as work? Because a lot of people out here were working, or hell, were living in their cars before that, and now the jobs are gone and they are on the streets. What did you do before? You can say it.
I just did some. I was my clothes.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Oh, that's cool. That's what I understand.
We're still getting to know each other.
That's fine. It's never.
We have a very strong connection with each other.
Yes, it's obvious of that. So, you like helping people, and he like creating art to better the world. So that's a good connection. So, one of the things is, have you guys faced any type of a brutal or sweeps, or have you had any police interruption?
I've actually been really, really lucky, just because I got the RV, so I'm able to put everything inside my RV.
I see.
So I don't have to worry about it.
But some places like Chatsworth, they don't allow those.
Here, a lot of times, basically, if people woke up late or stuff like that, I try to help out and let them keep some of the stuff that they can't, and get down to the bottom of the hill to keep it in there. Which somewhat caused me problems too, but sometimes. But
what problems did it cause?
Well, basically having everybody's stuff up here.
Oh yeah.
My RV doesn't lock.
Oh, okay.
And there was a couple of people who were staying here before that were stealing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go through everybody's stuff to make sure that nobody else's stuff is missing. But you know, right now it's been better with that just because of that certain group sort of just took off. But yeah. Okay.
So you got a fortunate skill that you have a talent with the violin. 2, you got a spot to hear. Because you have been here since you were 13 years old.
Long Beach, San Pedro. I was born and raised in Long Beach, but in San Pedro, basically, I've been coming in and out of San Pedro for a while because I've been playing my violin for almost, I would say, anywhere between 10, 11, 12, 13 years, all around Orange County, LA County, Long Beach, San Pedro, all over. But basically, I went out to Kansas for a minute there. I was out there for like 8-9 months, just recently, and then I came back to Long Beach expecting to stay out in Long Beach, but my mom's had moved here to San Pedro, so I decided to come out here to be able to visit my mom's and shit. And I like San Pedro. I do. It's beautiful out here.
It's definitely. You can see the beauty.
I like the people just a little bit better than people out Long Beach.
Ah, really? Oh, that's cool. I keep hearing it.
Let's just say the mascot out there is the Long Beach Dirtbags.
Oh.
Sort of fits people somewhat.
I have no dog in this fight.
Not all the people, but some of the people. And that's the thing about it is, I do got love for my city. So, I mean, that's the LBC big and blasting.
Oh, I see. You got your sign there.
Yeah, so it's definitely a love-hate relationship though. I love the city, not so much the people. Most of them. But
I understand.
That's because for a long time though, I took care of the homeless group out there. It's mainly the homeless out there that are. Different type of breed.
Oh, okay. Well, on that note, we can ask because one of the things is that now we could, if you don't mind, could you play us something else to take us out? So this is Theo and Henderson with in a house. We're going to have philosophical beats, Phil.
Before I do that, would you care to hear the rap or not?
Huh?
Would you care to hear the rap to that song?
Well, we want you to perform. It's up to you. We're going to leave it to you.
We'll just do that a different day then.
Yeah.
I'll do that a different day.
Yeah, just play the violin too, and then because we're coming back, and he's going to take us out with some beautiful music. So hit it.
Okay, so this piece I just got credited it actually just a couple days ago, or within a few days, and it's from my love here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better. Yeah.
So it's called Just So You Know.
Okay, so hit it. That's all right. Thank you again. And I hope we all have enjoyed and met in the light of understanding. And I thank you all for for you all to join us. Thank you very much. I would like to come back. Is it okay if I come back again?
Yes, most definitely. Anytime.
I have to see if I can try it out and then get you your
This
thing.
right here helps me out in a way of basically getting me out there a little bit more.
Yes. You know, you have a talent and the world should be exposed to that. There is something as a group that is an excellent group that is this Artists United to End Homelessness. And they have every now and again, I believe it's something.
What is that?
United to End Homelessness. That means people that are.
How do you get a part of that?
Well, I was going to tell you, October 2nd, they have a Zoom kind of performance, and I would love to have you on.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so and you know, and these are people that some are housed and some are not. They have all type of talent. So I would, if you are interested, I would try to see if we can come out okay, sure, and we can next. You know, this is the way we can give you and get the attention that you need.
Basically, my dream for my violin music and everything was I want basically violin dubstep rap is what I want to do, and when I get to that stage, and because I know I'm going to, you know, there's another person who's working totally different. Like I know, and I see it in my life. The money, to me, truthfully, I don't care about money. Yeah, it comes and goes. It's gonna come. You know, and there's always a way to make money. It just depends on what you're willing to do and how fast you want it, and you know how much. You know, but. The thing is that basically the money I want to use to basically do something to help build other people up. Because there's not enough people in the world these days are doing that. It seems like everybody's trying to tear each other down and not build each other up. When if we just build each other up, everything would be better. So I wanted to help find some way to build some people up. You know? Okay. And I've along my journey in life, I've come across lots of homeless people, lots of that. I have basically positions in what I would call my building an empire now. In my music life, where as soon as I get to that point, I can bring them up with me.
Thank you very much. I'm doing the same thing. I do believe in that same thing. Thank you all. This is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused. And I hope we all have learned something and we again meet in the light of understanding.
Nice job, man.
Good evening, and welcome to Unhoused News. Today, November 24th, 2020, the city will be voting for 4118, the amended version. The original version of 4118 was shut down by the court and the legal system after activists fighting against the cruel and unusual punishment that 4118 brings to the unhoused community. Not to be outdone, and in ever zealous zeal to undo that kind of judgment, the city has created 4118 amended. And in that, they're trying to find loopholes to create an illusion that they care for the unhoused, but they are also offering criminalization. After numerous protests and backlash from the citizens of Los Angeles and educating people that are not familiar with 4118, along with further explanation from We The Unhoused first animated short, you will find that Nuri Martinez, as well as Curran Price, Joe Busciano, Paul Koresh, John Lee, Gil Cedillo, Curran Price are the primary proponents for this ordinance. They, to do, for all intents and purposes, they are unmoved by the sentiment, and they seem to be moving forward to voting for 4118. The city of Reno has approved this first super shelter for the unhoused this winter season. The first super shelter will meet the needs of COVID-19 as well as be provided services for the unhoused in Reno. In New York, the ongoing NIMBY case against the unhoused has hit a snag. The judge ruled in Feeding New York that the NIMBY organization that got together to provide a lawyer and funds for them to terrorize the unhoused had been told that they are to leave them alone. They're not to interfere with their right to shelter in place at the hotel. And finally, Pine Street Lyndia Downey has stated to the listeners that the stereotypes against the unhoused is prohibiting change and helping the unhoused. She states, if we can't get behind the stigma that the unhoused are not lesser than us, that they're human beings, then we will never provide effective change. And lastly, Philadelphia provides vacant houses to 60 unhoused sheltered residents. This is Theo Henderson from We The Unhoused, and this is Unhoused News.
Watching Wheel of 4118! And welcome back. As always, I'm Host Teeth with the most teeth. Theo, are you ready to play?
I'm so confused.
Sounds good. Now, let's spin the Wheel of 4118!
What's 4118?
It's the specific LA municipal code that city council members are trying to amend so that unhoused people like you, yes, you, would be arrested for sitting, sleeping, or lying down outside.
What? I want to leave.
You can't! Now let's take a look at these amazing prizes. Behind curtain number 1 is a police officer who will arrest you.
Yeah, that's a good prize for him.
If 4118 passes, all police have to do is offer a vague promise of shelter, and if you decline it, they will put you in handcuffs.
But there aren't enough shelters for the unhoused in LA.
Yeah, man, it's just a formality.
Can you even do that?
How about I just give you this raincoat? That's technically shelter if you put it over yourself. And if you say no, you go to jail.
This is awful.
That's Hollywood, baby. And behind curtain number 2 is... Oh, it's the police again. You'll be arrested. That's your other option.
What? That's terrible.
Call your city council members by November 24th to reject Prop 4118 and tell them house keys, not handcuffs!
Good evening. This week has been very tumultuous. It's been filled with trepidation, anger, outrage, and education. San Pedro is just a small sliver of what is going on in Los Angeles, California. Joe Busciano's district offers a hostility that he tries to infect with the rest of the city by trying to push through the City Council 4118. And 4118 is one of the most horrible written pieces to justify criminalizing vulnerable people while they're already in a frantic and a stressful state. If you are dissatisfied with 4118 and appalled as we are, you're to call your council members November 24th and make it known that you are against this horrific Holocaust type practice. This is Theo Henderson for We The Unhoused, and I am trying to think of a quote that will be able to bring us together, so I will leave you with this thought. Sometimes when we meet in the light of understanding, we have walls that are put up by ignorance and fear. Let us not take the example of our city council members and allow that to continue. Let us meet in the light of understanding with the hope that we understand each other and we work together to get this issue being unhoused and houseless solved in our lifetime. Let's leave the world a better place.